We're at Saturday night's main event, and we kick off the show with the Women's World Championship match between the challenger Io Sky and the champ Liv Morgan. And surprisingly, Dirty Dominic Mysterio and Raquel Rodriguez are not accompanying Liv to the ring. She wants to do this on her own, so with the referee raising the championship in the air, the match is on. And Io instantly charges towards Liv, but she gets out of dodge. She wants none of Io Sky's offense, although that's not her choice to make, as the Genius of the Sky nails a dive onto Liv Morgan. Io is ready to bring it in this one, and this continues as with Liv getting up after being thrown into the barricade. Io manages to connect a picture-perfect diving moonsault onto the champ. The crowd love this, and so does Io, and after playing to the crowd, she hurls Liv into the ring before going to the top rope. She's going for a signature moonsault to put Liv away early, but the Queen of the Revenge Tour doesn't allow for this to happen, as she throws Io into the middle of the ring before she begins kicking her to smithereens. She isn't messing around, and from there, she continues the assault onto Io with her slowing down the pace drastically, and Liv's strategy is working. Io is being worn down, and once Liv believes the damage to be done, she drags her onto the ropes. She's going for oblivion, but Io counters. She won't be put down that easily, and once Liv gets back to her feet, she gets blasted by a spinning heel kick by Io. Then she goes to the apron, then connects a beautiful dropkick onto the champion. Then Io calls for her to get up, and it looks like she's going for a flatliner, although Liv counters before nailing a codebreaker variation. Is the match over just like that? 1, 2... No! Io survives, and clearly that puts some fear into Liv's bodyguard as she starts to come out. However, she can't make it to ringside as Rhea Ripley jumps her from behind and takes her away. But before she fully does, she shouts at Io, "End this now, Io." And with that, the match resumes as a one-on-one match. But where is Dominic? Well, he's being fended off backstage by Damian Priest. It's chaos wherever you turn. But finally, everything settles and the match goes back to a one-on-one contest. However, Liv is still in control as she manages to connect a double foot stomp and dropkick combination. Io is writhing around in pain, but she forces herself up. She won't stay down, although Liv tries to keep her down with a kick, but Io gets up again, although Liv almost amputates the challenger with a brutal running dropkick. And from here, she puts Io into the corner, then once again slows down the pace to her liking. But no matter what she does, Io won't stay down for the free, so Liv keeps up on the offensive as she snapmares Io before clocking her in the side of the skull with a dropkick. And with a kick to the side, Liv lines her up and connects her running enziguri. However, Io pulls herself up, although she gets nailed with a kick to the temple before Liv goes into the cover. 1, 2... No! Io stays alive, and Liv is beside herself, although in the madness, she gets an idea, as she hangs Io in a trio of position before continuing to wear down the Genius of the Sky. Although after this, the match's pace briefly picks up, as Io dodges another double foot stomp, but Liv manages to take her down and insultingly walks over her, and with a further 2 kicks, she goes into the cover once again. 1, 2... No! Io is still in the match somehow, and Liv is becoming more and more worried by the second, and that makes her more sporadic, which allows Io to catch Liv's leg, then plant her with a flatliner before transitioning into a Koji clutch. Liv is in trouble. Will she tap? She's screaming and writhing around in pain. She has nowhere to go, but Liv forces an opening as she hits a stiff elbow to the side of Io's temple. But she's barely moving. Liv looks surprised, and the referee goes to check on the out-cold challenger. It's a scarily real moment. Everyone stands in silence until Liv decides she wants to finish the job. But Io is playing possum. She rolled her up. 1, 2... No! The crowd are electric. They thought the match was over in several ways, and as soon as both women get to their feet, Io blasts Liv with a devastating uppercut. Then Io grabs her, places her in the corner, takes her down before hitting her double knees. It's looking like the Revenge Tour is done, but Liv manages to evade the subsequent moonsault before rolling her up. Is this it? 1, 2... No! Io survives. However, as she gets up, she gets caught with several strikes, which puts her onto the ropes and in a dangerous position as Liv finally connects with an oblivion. Is Io finally out for the count? No! Io kicks out. Liv can't believe it, so she gets desperate as she has no one left to save her. So she grabs a chair, but as she gets into the ring, Io obliterates her with a kick to the leg and a roundhouse kick to follow suit. Liv is out like a light, but Io isn't done as she puts Liv into position, goes into the top rope, and she nails the moonsault. Surely Liv's done. 2, 3. Io has done it. She's ended the reign of terror, and she celebrates with damage control on the ramp. It's a heartwarming moment for them, and things only get sweeter. But what's next? Well, it's time for the highly personal affair between the Scottish Warrior Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn. And as soon as the match begins, both men begin clobbering lumps out of one another. But Drew is too strong. He's overwhelming the underdog from the underground. But typically, Sami doesn't quit fighting as he evades a strike, then puts him into a corner. And he floors Drew with a haluva kick, but it sends him to the outside. Sami can't get the pin, although no one thinks that would get the job done as Drew gets up. So Sami decides to hit some classic Sami offense as he nails his patented dive to the outside. Although as he grabs Drew to put him back into the ring, McIntyre catches him with a brutal kick before going for the future shock DDT, and it connects. Sami is out. He may have a concussion, but Drew doesn't care as he hurls him into the ring and just waits for him to get up. And as soon as Sami does, Drew clocks him with a claymore. But he still isn't done as he goes back to the corner and just waits for Sami. Everyone is begging for Sami to stay down, but he refuses. He gets up, but as Drew runs at him, Sami counters and rolls him up. 1, 2, no! Sami almost had him, but that may be his last gas as Drew looks for a Glasgow kiss. However, Sami counters and hits a magnificent Blue Thunder powerbomb. Is Drew done? 1, 2, no! Drew stays in the match, but Sami knows what to do, as even though he can barely see straight, he puts Drew back into the corner, then lines him up for another haluva kick, but Drew counters, then unbelievably belly-to-belly Sami to the outside. But Sami knocked his head. If he didn't have a concussion before, he unfortunately more likely does now. But Sami stirs. It's a hell of a gutsy performance by Sami, but it may be futile as Drew knocks him back down to the outside. Then he grabs him, puts him into the ring, and connects another claymore. Then Drew mercifully goes into the cover. 1, 2, no! Sami, just by the skin of his teeth, almost out of instinct, moves out of the cover. But he isn't kicking. It had to be on impulse, and that makes Drew furious. And in the madness, Drew decides to go in for the kill. As he begs for him to get up, he's pleading for it. Then he hits another claymore. Zayn is done, but Drew still isn't, as he starts beating the life out of Sami. It's becoming uncomfortable to watch. He can barely defend himself, for God's sake. He even gets busted open, but that still doesn't matter to Drew. He's gonna end Sami's career. That is until the referee calls for the bell. The match is ended by a referee stoppage. Drew has won, but he doesn't care. He's seeing as much red as he did at Bad Blood. Sami needs help, and help does indeed arrive. Jay's here, and Drew finally relents off of Sami before discarding the body. And then as Jay gets close to the ring, Drew hurls himself at Jay. He wants to end the bloodline once and for all, but Jay's fresh. He can put him over fight in comparison to Sami Zayn. However, Drew is still a monster. He's on another level entirely. He's completely dominating Jey Uso. There's no Jimmy due to his injury. Paul Heyman can't do anything except introduce the Tribal Chief. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and I would like just one moment of your time, Drew McIntyre, before you beat down my fellow associates any further, because I know what you desire. I know it, and I have it. Your purpose for returning is here. The OTC is here, and Drew now has his target set, and so does Roman Reigns. Are they going to come to blows? Well, Drew hurt Roman's family, so of course they do. The war is on. A god is facing off against a titan, but the demigod isn't done fighting as Jay re-enters the battlefield as he assists Roman in fending off Drew. And with Drew backing off, Roman acknowledges Jay and thanks him, but he doesn't just do that as he goes towards the ring. He even tells Jay to follow because they're going to check on their fallen brethren. And with all three men united, and with Jimmy more than likely watching at home, Roman, with a tear in his eye, gives a monologue to his comrades. Jay, Sami, you didn't deserve this. You stuck your necks out for me. Hell, Jimmy's currently injured because he stuck his neck out for me. And when you needed help, I wasn't there in time. Jay, Sami, Jimmy, if you're watching, I failed you. And I know what I have to do right now. I need to be the tribal chief of old again. I need to be the undisputed GOAT again. Then we'll be prosper as one. Then we won't be hurt like this, like what we have been again. But Jay claps back and says, nah, Oos, we don't want your old tyrannical ass back. We want our family to be one, like you said, and I sure as hell don't want you ruining everybody's lives for another half a decade. You need to do better. You need to realize you are a bad person, and you need to realize that you need to be an equal with us, just like you were at War Games. That was the only reason I joined, because I knew we were equals. But if you turn back to the old tribal chief again, that's gone. All your reforming, all your repent is gone. And if that does happen, I don't want any part of you in my life. Jay gives Roman the verbal smackdown, and Roman hesitantly responds, you're right. And after a nod to both men, he walks to the back, and now we're even closer to Roman Reigns finally apologizing.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
But what's next on the card? Well, it's time to crown the inaugural Women's United States Champion. Who will win? Will it be Miss Shin or will it be Chelsea Green? Well, everyone is 50-50. No one knows who will win. But regardless, with everyone barred from ringside, the match is underway. And it surprisingly starts out very technical, although Miss Shin proves to be too much for Chelsea to handle as she manhandles her in this department. Green may already tap, but of course she manages to find her way out of it, and then she gets out of the ring. She wants to do the same trick she pulled on Bayley 24 hours prior, but it's not working, and that becomes more factual as Miss Shin dives onto her, and from here she lays into her wherever she goes. But as she goes to assault Chelsea, she moves out of harm's way and connects an enziguri. Then Chelsea tries to win by a count out, but of course this doesn't work, as Miss Shin even hangs Chelsea onto the ropes for her actions. Then she proceeds to kick Chelsea till she's going to draw blood from her mouth. Then after this brutal display, Miss Shin connects a back suplex, which almost drops Chelsea directly onto her head. Miss Shin isn't playing around, and this can be seen with a devastating powerbomb connected by Miss Shin, who goes into the cover. 1, 2, no! Chelsea survives, and out of pure desperation, she clings onto the ropes for dear life, and that gives her an opportunity as she nails a cheap strike onto Miss Shin along with a vicious elbow and an enziguri combination. But that's not enough. However, now Chelsea is in control as she plants Miss Shin onto her knee with no protection in sight along with an elbow. But again, that's not enough. So Green looks for her own powerbomb, although Miss Shin counters with a few critical strikes, then she runs to connect to Hurricanrana. Miss Shin's back into the fight, but Green fights back with a cheap knee, then out of pure ego, she slaps Miss Shin in the face and taunts at her, although she gets caught with a vicious combination for her troubles. And out of pure anger, Miss Shin throws her into the corner, knocks her down, before nailing a beautiful cannonball. Green is in trouble, and this is solidified further with a protect your neck, with Miss Shin thinking that's it. 1, 2, no! Chelsea proves everyone wrong with her endurance. Then she begs for a timeout, and with Mission playing to the crowd, Chelsea takes advantage of another insecurity. But then she pulls out one hell of a move. But the Canadian Destroyer doesn't destroy Mission, so she looks for a German suplex, but Mission counters into a roll-up. 1, 2, no! Chelsea counters into her own roll-up. 1, 2, no! Both women stay alive, although as Green charges at her, Mission responds with a flapjack and her own German suplex which actually connects. And to follow suit, she hits the 8 defeat. Chelsea is surely done. 1, 2, no! Green lives. Then Mission goes over to her, but Green out of sheer desperation rolls her up. 1, 2, 3! Chelsea has won! She has stolen the victory and the championship from Mission! But regardless, it's now time for the World Heavyweight Championship to be defended!
All rise!
Out first is the last minute addition to the match, Damian Priest. He's ready to go to war to regain his World Heavyweight Championship, but to do that, not only does he have to overcome the champ, but he has to overcome the Prince. The trunks are back on and the Demon is out for one of Finn Balor's most important matches of the year. Can he become world champion for the first time in 8 years? Well, before we find out, the champ must arrive. He's here. Gunter is ready to do whatever it takes to retain his World Heavyweight Championship. But can he retain, or will we see a new champion? Well, with the referee raising the title in the air, the match is on. And Balor straight away without hesitation nails a shotgun dropkick onto Gunter. Then as quick as the flash, he looks for one onto Priest, but the former El Campeon manages to grab Balor by his throat, although he can't connect the subsequent chokeslam. As with a stiff elbow, the Prince manages to launch Priest out of the ring. Balor is in control, and this continues as with Gunter down, he looks for a coup de grace on the ring general, but as he launches himself off, Gunter moves, then with 2 chops, he then manages to clobber Finn with a hellacious lariat. Then he attempts to lock in a rear naked choke, although Balor doesn't allow for this to happen. However, as both men get to their feet, they realise Damian Priest is on the top rope, with Priest hurling himself at both men, although he only manages to hit Gunter, and Balor takes advantage as he hurls Priest to the outside, but to ensure he stays down at least temporarily, he nails a dive onto Priest, and as soon as he does this, he goes back into the ring and looks for another shotgun dropkick onto the weary Gunter, although he counters and unbelievably lifts Balor into the air before allowing gravity to take its course. And from here, Gunter signals for a powerbomb, although the Prince manages to counter with a series of strikes which rock the ring general. And with him stunned, Balor looks to take the opportunity, although Priest has other ideas as he launches Balor into the corner along with Gunter. And from there, arguably the spot of the night occurs. Gunter stays in the match, so Priest turns to the down Demon and tries to pin him. No! Priest can't get the job done with the double choke slam, so he looks for another onto the champ, but once again a stiff elbow is all it takes for that to be stopped as Gunter follows through with a hellacious chop. Then he tries to break Priest with a single leg Boston Crab. He's screaming and writhing around in pain, but Balor's back up and breaks up the submission. However, this makes Gunter furious as he decides to pick up and launch Balor out of the ring like a sack of crap, but he isn't done as he redecorates the announcer's table. This could turn ugly as Gunter plants Finn with a powerbomb onto the table. Then he goes into the ring, wipes out Priest with another lariat. Then he goes to the top rope. Who is he gonna target? Well, to potentially remove the Demon's threat from the match, he chooses Balor, but the Prince manages to move with Gunter crashing and burning. This is Balor's chance as he picks up the lifeless corpse and hurls him into the ring. Then he climbs to the top rope and looks for the coup de grace on the Gunter, but Priest is back up as he catches Balor by the throat and nails a devastating chokeslam onto the Prince. Is Balor done? No! He's got gas left in the tank, but so does Gunter as he takes down Damien Priest. But Priest clocks him with a knee to the skull, then he picks him up. Is he going for a tombstone? Well, no one knows as Gunter reverses with another elbow. And with Priest dazed, he locks in the rear naked choke. Is the match over just like that? Priest is desperate to get out of the hold, but he has nowhere to go. So he has to rely on his former Judgment Day pal to break up the hold once again. And Gunter, out of pure anger and spite, tells Balor to bring it, and he does. He lays into Gunter with whatever strikes he can muster, but the ring and now reciprocates vicious chops, but neither man will yield, and that includes Damien Priest, who joins the war zone. No man will fall, although Gunter forces both men to, as he hits both warriors with stiff boots. Then he climbs to the top rope and connects a dropkick which wipes out both men. Then he goes back up with both men down. He's looking for a splash, but to whom? Well, he goes for Priest, but he moves out of harm's way and subsequently connects a Razor's Edge. But with Balor already up, he hurls him out of the ring once more to steal the win. 1, 2, no! Gunter stays alive, so Balor looks for a coup de grace, but once again he can't find it, but this time it's all thanks to Damien Priest. Then with Balor stunned and him disposing Gunter, Priest nails his own variation of the Tombstone Piledriver, and with an arm just draped over Balor, he goes into the cover. Is the Prince done? Is the match done? No! Balor kicks out, and this near fall alarms Gunter, who out of sheer desperation hits another chop which folds Priest in half before tossing him to the outside. But then Balor tries to roll him up. 1, 2, no! Gunter kicks out, but Balor then nails a sling blade onto him before climbing to the top rope, and he finally connects the coup de grace. But he can't capitalize as Priest looks for one more choke slam, although for the final time in this contest, it's countered by a stiff elbow. Then Balor goes for the kill, as for the first time in a long time, he connects a Bloody Sunday. But who will he hit with the coup de grace? Well, he chooses vengeance on Damien Priest. 1, 2, 3. Balor has won. He is finally the World Heavyweight Champion. After 8 long years, Balor claims his rightful prize. And he did it clean, with no Judgment Day interference. Although many believe this may have not been the original plan. But it's now time for the main event of the evening, and it's time for a very personal affair. It's time for the WWE Championship match. Arguably the biggest threat Cody Rhodes has yet to face is this newer, more vicious Kevin Owens. But can he win? Can he win the WWE Championship for the first time in 8 years? Well, to do that, he has to overcome the champion.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
The champ is here. He's ready to go through hell and back to beat Kevin Owens, but to do that, he'll have to dig deeper than he ever has before, and he's ready to do that. He's ready to fight, but so is Owens, as he hits a suicide dive onto an unprepared Cody. Even though it was unexpected, no one was surprised. Owens is assaulting Rhodes before the match can even begin, and he decides to attempt to put the nail in the coffin for Cody Rhodes' WWE title reign early, as he looks to powerbomb the American Nightmare on the hardest spot of the ring, although he fights out of it. Although as he's charging towards Owens, he gets caught with a kick to the gut, and is then nailed with an apron powerbomb. Cody is done. Kevin Owens has already laid out the champion, so he just goes into the ring, goes into the corner, and just waits and taunts at the fallen angel. But why? Cody surely can't compete in the match. Well, he starts to get up, and even though he can barely stand, he goes into the ring. He has a death wish, but he won't back out of the fight. He demands for the referee to ring the bell, and Owens very smugly taunts at him. He knew Cody would continue with the match, so with the referee ringing the bell, the match officially begins, and Owens immediately goes after Rhodes. He's all over the champ. It's an unfair fight, but Owens doesn't care. He continues to batter him with punches and kicks and everything in between, from a technical masterclass at Bash of the Berlin to this. Kevin Owens' journey to madness is on full display of his aggressiveness towards Cody, but as he grabs him, Cody fights back, although as soon as the American Nightmare gets up, he gets put straight back down. Owens is in control, and he knows it, as he even takes time to taunt the crowd before going back on the assault. It's looking hopeless for Cody, and with him down, Owens ascends to the top rope, and from there, he looks for a swanton bomb, but Cody counters. This is his chance, and he starts to lay strikes into Kevin, but it's reciprocated. Whatever Cody throws at Kevin, the challenger throws back. Neither man will wilt, although Cody is eventually forced to by a devastating super kick. Then Owens goes berserk. He grounds and pounds Rhodes until he draws blood, and even then, he only stops because the referee tells him to, as he checks to ensure Cody can continue. And once the referee gives the signal that the match can continue, Owens gets an idea. He puts Cody in a package position, and the crowd go from being fearful for Cody's safety to relieved as Owens turns the maneuver into a slam before going into the cover. 1, 2... No! Cody survives, but for how much longer? As Owens signals for the pop-up powerbomb, although as he gets Cody up, the WWE Champion manages to get out of it, and as Owens tries to recover from the counter, Cody runs off the ropes and manages to connect a Cody cutter. Cody uses everything he has left to sprawl into the cover. Is Owens done? 1, 2, no! Owens won't give up that easily. So Cody begs for him to get up. He's looking for a crossroads, but Owens counters with a brutal elbow, which allows for him to take down Cody before he goes to the top rope. And this time, he manages to connect the swanton bomb. Is Cody done? 1, 2, no. He kicks out again. Owens thought the match could have been done, and almost out of pure instinct, Cody rolls to the outside, and that makes Owens furious, so he grabs Cody and drives him into a barricade, and if that wasn't bad enough, he puts him into a powerbomb position before planting him onto the announcer's table. Cody's writhing around in pain, but Owens doesn't care, as he rolls him into the ring and just observes the downed corpse. But Cody won't be denied. He starts to get up, and with adrenaline in his soul, he begins his comeback. He hits strikes with reckless abandon, and then he puts Owens into the corner, and from there, he puts the once prize fighter onto the top rope before attempting an avalanche hurricanrana, but Owens hangs on for dear life. Then he hits a dive onto Cody, who moves out of harm's way, and with Owens stunned, he gets nailed with a crossroads. 1, 2, no! What once beat the babyface Kevin Owens won't do the same now. So Cody has to dig deep into his bag of tricks, and he decides to pay homage to one of his former rivals. But as he does this, Owens' leg clocks the referee. He's out, and so is Owens, who gets nailed with a Death Valley driver. But Cody's back is done. He needs a moment to breathe, but he doesn't get the chance to. Randy Orton has returned and has just turned his back on the champ. But why has he sided with Owens? Well, he hasn't, as he shows that through another RKO. Both men are out once again, and Orton leaves the carnage behind. And once the referee gets back into the ring, Owens stirs. Cody is still out like a light, and the prize fighter is ready to collect his prize by any means necessary.